Hello and welcome to the Deep 3 Podcast. This is your host, Matt, joined as always by Sam, Kevin, and John. How's it going, guys?
Just watch the Bears get their ass beat by the Packers, so I'm ready to talk about something else. Get my mind off it.
Yo, hold up. Did me and Kevin not get the memo? What's with the sponsorship headphones with you guys?
Clearly.
I mean, the big brands know where the talent is, boys. I don't know.
Yo,
I don't
LeVar
know
Ball,
what to
you're next.
I don't know. Kevin, I'm really glad that you were able to get all of that clown makeup off your face before we started the show. Before we started the episode, Kevin was really trying his best to hype up the Bears.
Hey, it wasn't a bad game, seeing as we were missing two of our corners, and we played the best team in the league, the number one seed. Wasn't bad. We played pretty well, I thought. Yeah.
Gentlemen, this is a basketball podcast, all right?
All right, well, let's get into it. Ladies and gentlemen, we have some news for you, some rookie report, injury report, and Is It Real segment coming at you. So why don't we start this off? Ladies and gentlemen, we have Baron Davis and Master P working on buying Reebok from Adidas. Sam, hit me up with this news, fam. It seems like you got the inside source.
Yeah, I told about it. So Adidas, they acquired Reebok. They lost $1.3 billion off this deal for a span of 2 years, basically. So they're trying to we need to just get Reebok out of here. Who wears Reeboks? Do you wear Reeboks? I don't, okay? No. AI, you made a mistake ever signing with Reebok in your entire career. But I think this is awesome. I mean, to be black owners of a giant shoe company, that's perfect. I mean, I don't know if you guys ever seen Baron Davis play. He was part of the 8-seed Warriors that upset that Dallas Mavericks team that was supposed to win it all, and they straight up just lost it and choked. And I mean, who doesn't like Master P? Master P's, I mean, we see him in the celebrity game. Really bad, shouldn't play basketball. But I think it's a perfect combo. Someone that's trash but has hip hop culture with someone like Baron Davis who has basketball come together to make Reebok actually back on the face. Think about it. There's been other brands. I think even Puma. Which brand did I say? It was some. Oh, Fila basketball was worn more than Reebok. That's nuts. I couldn't even imagine in the NBA. So this is great. I don't know how they're going to get the money to buy this, but hey, that's not our problem. All right, just make it happen, Baron Davis. Let's get it happening.
Just really quickly around the pod, would you rather have Adidas, Reebok, or Skechers? Sam, what you got?
Hey man, Skechers been rocking those knockoffs pretty well, but. Hey, if Baron Davis repping Reebok, I'm going with Reebok.
Kevin, what you got?
Skechers stand for life, dude.
Yeah. Kevin's shoes stay glowing in the dark.
John, are you on that Skechers hype train, or you got that Reebok?
These are both shoes for kindergartners, so. But it's good. It's good. I'm glad that they're acquiring Reebok. Hopefully they can make it into a cooler brand than whatever the fuck it is right now. The money pit that it has become. Good luck to those guys.
It's a rough time for Reebok, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Baron Davis rules, though. Look up some Baron Davis highlights before his back just broke on him. Buddy could bounce. He was good.
Oof. Big oof. Next on the news, the league is considering an expansion team. This is very interesting because, as we know, OKC was originally, Seattle Sonics. John, do you see Seattle making a comeback possibly, or would you rather see this new team in a different city?
Well, so here's the thing. I think they're considering two additional expansion teams. So I think this would be awesome. Of course, Seattle has to be number one on that list. I don't know where the other team would be, but just don't put it in California, Texas, Florida, or New York. Anywhere else is fair game, I guess. But this is awesome because we've reached a great point with basketball where there really is so much legitimate NBA talent that there's good players who don't even get minutes in games now. So this is great news, and I think would only hopefully help with just additional parity for the league, and also just giving these markets a chance to have a professional basketball team. I know Seattle fans, they want that team back. I would love to see that team come back. I don't know how that would work if like OKC owns the rights to like the Supersonics or anything. So I don't know how that would work. But yeah, I think this is awesome. I hope this is something that happens in the near future, like in this decade.
Kevin, what would you be thinking for it? Let's just put Seattle aside because I think we're all in agreement that Seattle would be great and should be inevitable. Where would you like to see a team play?
Yo, I'm gonna hype this up. Y'all heard of the MLB, right? Well, Chicago has two baseball teams that are really hard rivals. You know, bring another team to Chicago, force the Bulls to kind of be better when they have a hometown rival to fight over. And maybe we don't have to root for the shit-ass Bulls. We can root for the slightly above average other Chicago team.
Can we have this happen, please? Because that would be amazing. I was straight up just thinking about this. I'm not going to lie to you.
Why do you want a Chicago Clippers? We do not need that.
No.
I just want to cheer for
the Clippers. The other Chicago team will be the Lakers.
No, it's the Bulls, man. They're iconic.
Yeah, when you think of Chicago, you think of the Bulls, nothing else. Okay, that's all you think about.
It can't work. They're not. They're too far. We're in too deep with the Bulls. It cannot support another team in this ecosystem.
Why don't we settle this? Let's do what the Rams did originally, and we'll just throw it in St. Louis. They have an empty stadium.
Or Vancouver. I would the Grizzlies used to be the Vancouver Grizzlies. I think it was, give another team up north. Like,
cool.
All I want is for these two teams to come in and cause a restructuring of the conferences.
Yes.
To make some kind of like less dominant West.
Please, that would be amazing. I've been needing that for ages. Moving forward from that, Kevin, your boy, LeBron James, the LeBron James stands of this podcast, which I guess is technically all of us. Record performance, first player to have 1,000 straight games of 10 plus points. Is he the GOAT?
Oh, what do we always say, Sam? Fine wine and dine, LeBron. Getting better and better. Love to see it. A record he deserves. Very impressive. He's the GOAT, no doubt. At least current gen, GOAT, easy.
Sam, do you think there's another player in this league currently that could either match that record or maybe even beat it?
I'm going to say no because no one's ever healthy in this league besides LeBron James. LeBron James is the most consistent player that we've ever seen. I think we all thought Kawhi was going to be it. I think Kawhi could have been it, but he got injured, and that's basically cost him his career in terms of being a quote-unquote GOAT status, in my opinion. You're going to live under the shadow. Kevin Durant, even if he didn't get injured, Kevin Durant couldn't even be he won't be in the same light as LeBron James because came in the wrong generation, my friend. Kevin Durant, if you came like 2 decades later, be all good. Maybe. I don't know. I feel like LeBron's going to be here for at least 30, 40 years at this point. So congrats to the GOAT. GOAT in my eyes in any generation, but that's a different argument that we've had too many times. But I gotta say it, Kevin, fine wine and dine. That's all I gotta say.
I love it. John, do you think? And I'm just gonna throw this out to you because I know you love the hype. Do you think that Luka could possibly maybe not this record exactly, but do you think Luka could do something as significant as this record to LeBron?
Luka transcends the traditional conversations of records and points scored and field goal percentage. No, I don't think he can. LeBron, the person who's second on this list, I'm pretty sure is Michael Jordan at 866. Like it's not even close. I don't think anyone touches this record especially because of the way that players rest now. I don't think this is something that anyone's going to touch. I think that this is his. No one is better at scoring at least 10 points than LeBron James.
Hey, man, that's totally fair. I want to just roll out the carpet for you to just praise Luka the Almighty. But hey, I get it. I get LeBron's in another tier of his own.
He is. Look, I'll have plenty of time to praise Luka.
That's true. That's very true. Guys, I don't know about you, but I'm flabbergasted. about the recent games that have been going on. Pistons beating the Celtics, the Knicks winning games. I don't get it. And the thing that I don't get the most are these insane blowouts that are going on. Sam, help me out here. What the hell's going on?
I think the thing we're seeing is all the good teams played so much basketball that they're actually tired of basketball, but are forced to play because it's a lot of money. So I don't blame them because it's a lot of money, because I do the same too. But I mean, all the good teams are losing horrendously. I mean, we saw that Bucks Heat game, horrendous. It was like a 41-point loss. Like, you don't do that. You don't drop 140 on a team and then the other team still not make 100 points. That's stupid. Warriors games are horrendous. I don't want to ever watch one of those, especially when it's a nail biter against the Bulls. Don't get me wrong. Like, we got Bulls fans here, but it shouldn't be that close. Like, come on, it shouldn't be like that. But I think there's a lot of fatigue. I'm pretty sure a lot of people actually just don't want to play basketball. I mean, in a way, LeBron's just coasting to a triple-double every game, but he's not really trying that much. They'll take the loss at that point. But I don't know, man. I think he's just tired. A lot of these really bad teams are just playing good basketball for once. I guess they've just been together for so long because no one wants those assets. So,
Hey, that's fair. That's fair. I think it's just like so confusing because we're not used to these insane blowouts. John, do you think that this? I'm almost positive I'll know the answer, but do you think the whole COVID stuff plays a piece in it?
Huge piece.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is. It was probably I mean, financially, like I guess why they did it, but like just practically, it was a bad idea to play basketball under these circumstances. Just because there's so many issues that keep popping up with COVID. We hear about either a new player or some team personnel like testing positive or being exposed and having to quarantine. Like it's like it's already really messy and it's hard to build a rhythm under these circumstances. And it's just like a higher stress environment. Like, and the players are very regulated as far as the movement they can do outside of work. Like it's a really bizarre situation for them. And I'm sure that that's playing a part into like the mental side of everything and being able to stay engaged with these games and with this really compacted schedule. But I think like everything Sam said is true. It's just a lot of guys are gassed, and then the teams that are doing great, like the Knicks with their league MVP Julius Randle, like they just haven't played basketball in so long. So they're just like, I would like to play basketball again if that's okay. And so you know, they're just excited. They're running out and having fun, but everyone else is like, this is not working. It's going to take I think almost up to the All-Star break for people to like be in the real rhythm of this season.
Yeah, I get it. Kevin, what is the most surprising blowout as of late that you've seen that's just blowing your mind?
I don't know. I think there's definitely a couple. I'm honestly surprised the Warriors get their ass beat as much as they have. Like, I get it. And I get that Oubre is just really not living up to the hype, especially on defense. He's been absolutely embarrassing, but it's tough to see the Warriors get blown out by 25 points against the Blazers. Yes, the Blazers are good, but it's the Warriors. And if you would have told me that last year, that would have been a score for a regular season game, I wouldn't have believed you. Otherwise, I think the biggest one I was thinking of, that the Thunder are pathetic, and they got blown out by the Pelicans by, 33 points?
Isn't great.
That's embarrassing. Like, the Pelicans are a very okay team right now, like maybe a 10 seed at the current moment, maybe a little higher, but the Thunder got obliterated by them. Like, come on. I don't know. There's been a lot of those games that it's just been like embarrassing for the other team.
I think the Bucks and Heat were pretty rough too.
Yeah.
That was very surprising. I think we all agree on that one too. Going on to the next part, ladies and gentlemen, Sam, I'm going to let you take this one because this is your knight in shining armor, your glory team, the San Antonio Spurs. Hey, history was made, ladies and gentlemen. Becky Hammond. She's killing it now, ladies and gentlemen. She's fucking killing it, Sam. Why don't you, I'll roll out the red carpet for you to just have your Becky Hammond hype.
I'm just going to be honest. I think there's a lot of teams that made a huge mistake overlooking Becky Hammond. I mean, she's coached a G League team to 2 straight championships, which is, I know it's very small feat, but in terms of what people think of women in society, I think it's a huge thing, a huge step over the competition, really. I mean, look at OKC coach. Who is the OKC coach? I don't even care. I don't even know his name. The thing that's relevant is that Becky Hammon's name keeps popping up, and then it doesn't lead to the next conversation of here's the job. I don't know what it is. Maybe she's waiting for Pop's job when Pop decides to bury himself in his own grave, because it looks like he's never going to leave at this point. But I mean, look, the Indiana Pacers, they took an assistant after Nate McMillan left, or they took the Raptors assistant, who's I never heard of. But once again, you need relevancy. For me, Becky Hammon deserves better. I think the job for her is going to be Luke Walton's job, because no one likes Luke Walton. I can tell you that for sure. I will not give Luke Walton his props for guy 73-9 Warriors team. It's really funny because he wasn't even allowed to coach the All-Star game because he wasn't considered a head coach, which is hilarious at that point. But props to Becky Hammon. I know someone left a comment saying what Rudy Gay said was he's looking forward to the day when this doesn't become, this isn't news, right? Because at this point, it should be a thing. Like, it shouldn't be this much injustice to a woman who actually knows the sport better than probably half the players in the NBA. I can say that pretty confidently. I mean, it's just someone that studied the game a lot, and I think we can all respect that. So, I mean, Becky, I hope you stay a Spur for life. I hope you have a Pop's job at the end of the day. So I'm for it.
Hey, I love it. I love all the Becky Hammon hype. Let's keep that rolling. John, who do you think, what team other than the Spurs would you like to see Becky Hammon go to? I was very interested when you said the Kings, Sam. Do you agree, John?
I don't know if I want to do that to her. It would be nice to see, it would be nice. It's a difficult thing because she's going to probably be the first woman to be a head coach in the NBA. That's what it seems like the case will be. Wherever she does end up, she's going to probably deal with more intense scrutiny than any coaching hire in the past, probably since desegregation. And I'm not it's just true because there's going to be a bunch, I guarantee you there's going to be a bunch of assholes who are fans of that team, wherever it is, that are going to be well, it's this woman is not going to know how to play or coach NBA basketball, because they don't know what they're talking about. But she's going to be under a lot of pressure wherever she goes. I would love to see it be in a more stable organization, frankly. That's why I like that, the idea of her taking over for Greg Popovich, because the Spurs are a good, stable organization that will be able to support her and have organizational integrity behind her. Because she, not that she can't handle the scrutiny. It's just that you just need a front office to be behind you when you're going to be that much of a mold breaking figure.
You want a smoother transition.
Exactly. So wherever that is, I just hope it's somewhere where the organization behind her is going to be supportive and strong as she embarks on whatever it is, because it's going to be crazy. It's going to be if Rudy Gay, he was I look forward to when it's not news, and it's going to be a long time until that's not news. Unfortunately. So I'm rooting for Becky wherever she does get her first head coaching gig to just be able to get off the ground running.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I think we can all agree on that one. Sam, I'm really happy that you brought up Luke Walton, because there are some people that don't really like Luke Walton, Kevin. Did you know that there are some people that don't like him?
I would never have guessed in a million years that that's the case.
Blew my mind. It blew my goddamn mind. But why don't we name somebody that doesn't like Luke Walton? Marvin Bagley's dad demanded a trade. Not even Marvin Bagley. Just his dad demanded a trade. Luke Walton came out. He said, "We don't listen to any of that." How you feel about this, Kevin?
I don't know what Marvin Bagley's dad is doing, making these demands. I don't think he has any say in this whatsoever. Why would the Kings trade one of their 3 players that is even remotely good? They're just gonna immediately brush this off, and not even think twice about it. He might hold some trade value, but I don't get why they would trade away one of their probably two actually people that are consistently good, I think, on their team. It blows my mind.
I feel like if they traded Marvin Bagley, it would just like confirm the fact that they really did fuck up in not getting Luka, which we all know, but like he's who you picked instead of Luka. So like, I feel like at that point you just need to have blind devotion to this guy.
It's to bring it back to football, it's the Trubisky syndrome. Like you get this guy. And looking back on it, yeah, you could have gotten a bunch of other people that are clearly great now, but in the moment, you put your faith in this guy. So you got to kind of figure out when you want to stop supporting him, if at all. But I think I don't know, he's not a Luka, and you're always going to have that doubt looking back on it and regret. But does he hold any trade value? I don't think any other team wants him either. So,
Sam, do you agree? Do you think Marvin Bagley holds any trade value?
I mean, what do you want to get? I can get you Broken Sensor Dinwiddie. If that's the case. I mean, like,
rip.
I mean that's disrespect to Spencer Dinwiddie is what I'm trying to say. But this guy's injury plague, it's a shame. We never actually get to see his true talent, and it sucked because this team continued to grow and surprisingly, quote unquote, got better. I think we see a better Harrison Barnes for once. De'Aaron Fox clearly popping off. Buddy Hield, okay, but no complaints yet, so I'm okay with that. Kevin, our boy, Richaun Holmes, been balling out at center and forward, so. You know, there's not many spots left. Tyrese Halliburton, like the team it's building. It's not going to be good. I know John, we talked about before. He said probably going to be a playing team. I wouldn't be surprised if they're like a 9th seed. Like I'm pretty confident that this team could have a real shot at getting into the playoffs. But Bagley is just mistakes were made. All right, mistakes were made in the draft. Vlade Divac is out. You wish you got him out like 2-3 years ago, but. Can only look forward to the future. So this guy has no value. I mean, his dad is not LeVar Ball, so like he literally has 0 movement. LeVar Ball would have like 2% movement, but it's just I don't know what they're doing.
John, are you on the same page?
Yeah, I think that Marvin Bagley is. You got to play a little more basketball until you can be out here like telling them to trade your son, because the guy, like, we just don't know what he is anymore. You certainly aren't going to get good value for him. And honestly, like, I wouldn't be surprised if the Kings wanted to move on from him just because they have the new front office. They're like, we don't want to deal with this mistake anymore, kind of hanging over our heads. Like, Tyrese Halliburton looks great. He's kind of like the opposite of James Wiseman in every way, being like a point guard, but also just like someone who's totally NBA ready, makes good, smart plays on offense and defense. Probably doesn't have like the highest ceiling, but he's like really, really solid already as a rookie. I think they're probably about ready to move on from Marvin Bagley. I wonder if they even I doubt they extend him when it gets to that time. I wonder if they even pick up his option. It's a bummer, but he's just he's just not that good. He's just not right now.
That's fair, and I think that's enough Marvin Bagley talk for today. Why don't we get into the injuries? There have been some significant injuries. I think the biggest one is, unfortunately, Ja Morant. I really hate to see it. However, luckily, this is a lot better than what I think a majority of NBA fans have seen. That injury was not pretty. Then the fact that they brought out a wheelchair was terrifying. Very, very terrifying. So, John, did you see how long he's going to be out for? I believe it was 5 weeks.
Yeah, it was a handful of weeks. They're like it's a pretty hard sprained ankle, but thank God it's just like nothing worse, because it was pretty gross how he fell on it. It was just bad. Yeah. So I'm glad it's not worse.
We demand an apology for what you said in the previous episode.
Yeah.
Jinx the health of our boy Ja here.
I do have to apologize to Ja Morant for drawing the Derrick Rose comparison to him and putting that curse on his name. Look, I want nothing but success for Ja Morant. He's one of the most exciting players to watch in the league, and I hope that this ankle thing does not become a recurring issue for him. And it didn't even happen on a play where he was doing something crazy. It was just like a freak incident. Didn't even happen when he was like running and dunking like a maniac. Like I think it was just on like a defensive rotation. Like it's a bummer, and I'm sorry, Ja. I really do apologize.
It's very unfortunate. Definitely a bad thing. Let's go around the podcast really quick and just say, who do you think is going to step up the most for Ja? John, I'll start with you.
Yeah, it's right now. Fucking slow-mo Peterson has been balling out a little bit for them as a bit of a point forward. Dylan Brooks has stepped up. They're also waiting for Jaren Jackson to come back. This team is just in a really bad spot. I don't know like who their guy is who's gonna like actually be able to step up that sees like Dylan Brooks is scoring a lot. Valanciunas maybe. I don't know. They're a little like they're fun when they have Ja and Triple J, and then when they're not there, it's like it's not great.
Kevin, really quickly, who are you feeling? If you had to name one player on Memphis, who steps up?
I hate saying this. I hate these words coming out of my mouth because this is so gross.
No, don't do it.
I think Tyus Jones has been waiting for this opportunity his whole life. And I think if he can actually do something, maybe he'll play more than 6 minutes a game. But I don't know. It's that, like John said, that team without Triple J and Ja is kind of boring and very okay. But they're holding their own right now, so hopefully they can keep doing that until they get their 2 stars back.
Absolutely. Sam?
I don't know what you guys talking about boring. Maybe I'm just old-fashioned because of my backwards Spurs basketball ways. Look, I live in the past sometimes to stay happy, okay? That's how you have to do it. But that's what I'm seeing with this team. All right, we lost Ja, we lost Triple J. Fuck. No, I'm just kidding. I love those guys too much to even say that. But I'm waiting for better performance from Brandon Clark. He had a big. I mean, I'm basically thinking he was like almost minus the Zion hype. I think he was like almost second for the Rookie of the Year at that point. Like, he's doing really good. I love my boy Slow Mo, Kyle Anderson. Definitely overpaid, but guys putting up some stats. And I think along with that, it has to be Dylan Brooks. I mean, basically all these nobodies that you didn't think would be that good, but they somehow do just mesh together. And I guess maybe this is a chance to actually showcase that they're actually decent without 2 superstars. Or maybe not superstars, but all stars. Kevin, I thought you were going to say Grayson Allen. I was going to throw up immediately. Thank God we didn't mention that. So, yeah, I'm still rooting for the Memphis Grizzlies team. They put in some real challenge against even the Nets game. I don't know if you guys saw that. That was a good game about them.
Mm-hmm. It was definitely.
They gotta keep Grayson Allen away from Ja in practice because that dude is like a shark in water smelling blood when there's an ankle injury. Like,
Grayson Allen is a confirmed shark. Speaking of the Nets, Kevin Dinwiddie ACL tear. How are you feeling about this team? Do you think this is a huge impact, or are you still kind of yes on their playoff spot?
I think if we hadn't seen Kyrie and KD and their chemistry this year multiple times and how scary they are offensively, I think it would have been way more of an impact than I think it will be. I think with those two, they're going to get to the playoffs regardless of who else is on their team. Like, I think Dinwiddie is a great fit for their team, and it sucks to lose him. And I think that is going to be a detriment, especially in the playoffs. But that being said, for the regular season, I don't think it's going to make much of an impact other than their seeding a little bit. Maybe it's a couple spots down. It sucks for Dinwiddie. I mean, it sucks for the Nets, but I don't think it's going to be that big of a detriment.
That's fair. And lastly, on the injury report, Sam, your boy Gallo, he is out for a little bit. I don't exactly remember the intensity of the injury. I just know it was a lower body injury. How are you feeling about the Hawks for the next couple of games?
I think we can see the standings. They're doing pretty well still without him. I'm just saying, like, they're balling out. It's kind of it's going to be weird for Trae Young to start actually facilitating. We did see it in our last game where he only got 20 points, which I was like, whoa, that's new. I've never seen a 20-point game for this guy. I mean, we know Gallinari was probably going to be the biggest piece in free agency. Surprisingly, still some weird conspiracy with the Atlanta Hawks and how they're just attracting these players. It's got to be the strip clubs, the chicken wings. It's got to be that at that point. I think the Hawks are going to be fine. I mean, for them, the Hawks' goal is just to get in the playoffs at some point. Even if it's a 10 seed, they can get it. But as you can tell, they're going to be a 4th seed. So let's stop by.
Fair enough. Yeah, 4th seed. That's some high hopes, man. Some high hopes. Why don't we go right into the rookie report? What we're going to do for this segment is we're just going to really quickly, like a minute for each person. We're just going to go through each rookie and kind of give an update if we're liking how they're turning out or if we're not liking it. So why don't we start it off with James Wiseman? John, I'm going to kick it off with you.
Yeah. Look, Wiseman is gonna be awesome. He's done some like really not like yet, but he's gonna be really awesome. He's done some. We've seen some stuff of him like taking the ball coast to coast, putting on a couple little like a little bit of footwork, getting to the lane. Like defensively, he's terrible and he doesn't know what he's doing, but he will be good at some point. And he just doesn't know what he's doing in an NBA basketball game yet. But like, with knowing that, he's been great. He's always good for like something interesting offensively. I like James Wiseman a lot. I think he might be the best player in this draft down the line, and good for the Warriors. Not the best thing for this year, but down the line, it's great.
Fair enough. Kevin, how you feeling about Wiseman?
I like Wiseman a lot. I think John hit the nail on the head. I think he has a lot of potential. I think he's going to turn into a good, consistent player as long as he stays healthy, and I think he's playing good, classic fundamentals, which is really important. He's not a really flashy player or anything like that. But yeah, overall good. I think he's going to turn into maybe a 3rd-team All-Star in a couple of years. That'll be around for a while.
Fair enough. Sam?
There's nothing really wise about Wiseman. And it's not about Wiseman himself. It's the wrong system. The wrong system, really. It's just really big shoes to fill because I know we all know Steph said, oh, it's okay. We can, kind of learn, take the baby steps. But if I'm Steph, I need my dubs now, okay? I don't care. Literally dubs, okay? Like, we need to get winners on this team. Someone, what would be fun watching James Wiseman on? The Charlotte Hornets at this point. I mean, I would like him to just be a dominant guy that gets 15 and 12 like every game as a rookie. That'd be perfect for him. I don't really think there's a good opportunity just because he won't be getting most of the shots, but the guy's gonna have a lot of talent. I think the guy has a crazy amount of time. When you're 7'3", as James Harden says, it's easy being tall, right? It's easy being tall, so it's gonna be perfectly fine for him.
Fair enough, and I would have to agree with majority. I do think that James Wiseman is going to be a fantastic player, depending on what team he ends up in. I guess that's just a toss-up. I do see the Warriors keeping him for as long as they can just because of the talent that he has shown, though. Why don't we move on to the next one? Killian Hayes. I think we're all in agreement on this one. Real bad. Real bad, John.
This is the last time I trust a Frenchman. I'm so glad that the Bulls scouting department doesn't listen to me. Look, I love Patrick Williams, and I'm glad they didn't take Killian Hayes, who is struggling right now. I'm not all the way out on him. I think that he is just having a very hard time adjusting to NBA basketball at the moment, and he's going to have a really tough rookie season. He looks like a deer in headlights out there. I think that this is something where, like, he'll be, De'Aaron Fox was terrible his rookie year. He was awful. So it's always harder with point guards to know what they're going to become, especially when we've kind of gotten spoiled with some who were great to start. Killian's really bad right now, and I hope he gets better, but it's brutal.
It's brutal indeed, and I would have to agree with John. I am not liking Killian Hayes and how he's looking so far. Kevin, how about that? How about that Killian Hayes? How you feeling?
I think I mean, obviously, I agree. He's shooting like absolute garbage. Really, I feel bad for him because he's shooting so poorly. That being said, I think, to John's point, I think that's accurate. That I he's just kind of has to shake off those rookie jitters. I think he has that way too much right now. I think he has some potential in the future. He should chill on shooting for a while, but at least get that like kind of IQ going. He's making some assists every game. He's doing decent in that regard, and I think he just needs to focus on that, focus on his IQ and playmaking abilities rather than his three-point shooting or his field goals at all. I think he needs to cut that shit out.
Fair enough. And Sam?
There's nothing killer about Killian Hayes, okay?
Oh my God.
Boo!
Look. I like the 6'5" guard stand. I mean, I think it's almost normal at this point when you have like Lonzo, LaMelo. You just have tall guards, which I appreciate that. I think once again, potentially could be I think he actually could be a great player. He's on the wrong team. The Detroit Pistons is not a good team that's built around at least 8 power forwards on this roster that all want the ball at the same time. It doesn't make sense with this team. It's a lot of pressure when you have people like a Blake Griffin, a Derrick Rose, who just like wants to win or wants to have the just the ball at that point. But I don't know if you guys listened to. I was reading an article about how Derrick Rose actually took Killian Hayes under his wing and was like, Derrick Rose made clear that he was willing to be a sixth man just to make sure this guy's good. And I thought that was a phenomenal thing from Derrick Rose. I think he's going to have a great mentor with the Pistons. But look, I'm just saying, if he was on the Spurs, we'd be getting dubs day after day after day. We know how to get European talent to be the best thing possible. All right. So once again, it's another James Wiseman thing. I think he's on the wrong team to have a chance to be dominant. And Detroit's just not good. Detroit's not good for any rookie. So
fair enough, and we'll leave it at that. Kevin, LaMelo Ball, yes or no? Good or bad?
Better than Killian Hayes, that's for sure. I'll go with good, but not hype good. I'm not excited about his level of good.
Fair enough. I love your analysis. I think that's some pro analysis of the. I feel like more analysts need to use that as a reference. John, how you feeling about Tyrese Halliburton?
Tyrese Halliburton. Well, I feel great about him. He's been really smart, and he's a really good player who I think has a really high floor. Maybe not the highest ceiling, but he looks great right now. Great signing or great pick for the Kings. I like him a lot.
All right. And Sam, would you rather have LaMelo Ball or Tyrese Halliburton?
Oh man, don't do me like that. I think we gotta pick LaMelo. I think we're just getting the right minutes for him. I mean, we saw the Philly game. I don't know if you guys watched it, but 13, 5, and 13 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 4 blocks or 4 steals, 2 blocks. Like that. This guy can play all around. I think he just needs the time to start growing. So I'm for the LaMelo Ball hype train. All right, for any ball brother besides LiAngelo, we're good. All right.
Fair enough. Now, why don't we get into the last segment of the episode? Is it real? This is some early season surprises. We're going to keep it short and simple around the podcast. So why don't we start this off with, is this another lost year for the Warriors, or do you think they're going to figure it out? Personally, I'm going to say that that this is another loss for the Warriors. I'm not liking how they're looking right now. John?
It's bad, and I don't think that they're going to be any better than a play-in team now, and that's how I feel. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem to be working unless they make a big trade midseason.
Yeah, absolutely. Kevin?
I still have slim hopes for them. I think they're getting Draymond back. I think tonight he's coming back. I think Oubre needs to get his shit together, and I think then they can be a complete team once that happens, if that happens. But I think they have a lot of good tools still. I think they're not out yet, but they're on their last leg, looking pretty grim right now.
Sam?
I think you guys know my stance on the Warriors. I told them they're going to be a 13th seed in the West, currently 14th right now. So I think we know what I'm saying here, all right? Panic in the Bay, all right?
Panic in the Bay. That is a fantastic band name. I like it. The Hawks actually look pretty good, Sam. Is this real or no?
Oh, Soul, I told you, 4th seed, gentlemen, stop the shenanigans here, okay? Trae Young has learned to pass. Bogdan's getting it. Everyone's getting minutes. Everyone's scoring. I'm for it. The key is don't play defense. Run up the score, get 140 points a night. You're good, okay? We are the 2007 Phoenix Suns. Just run up the scoreboard, all right? We're for it. This is real. This is some real shit.
We're going to call this the Washington Wizards and Brooklyn Nets method. No defense is a good team, apparently. John, is this real or not for the Hawks?
Well, it's not real for the Wizards, but it is for the Hawks. I think that they are. The Hawks look awesome, and Trey's been doing great. They have weapons offensively at like every position. Reddish and Hunter stepped up. We underestimated the Hawks, Sam. I don't think they're a 4 seed still, but they look really good.
I think they look really good. I am interested to see how the rest of the season goes once other teams also start to get their footing. I'm still skeptical of them being a 4 or above seed. But right now they're looking good, and I don't see themselves I don't see them stopping themselves. I think if it'll be someone else coming in or other teams coming in looking really good.
Absolutely. And I would have to definitely agree. I think the biggest thing for me for the Hawks is that Trae Young is looking better and better, which is fantastic, not only for the Hawks, but for my fantasy team. So this one kills me. This one really, really kills me, especially for my playoff hopes. John, are the Nuggets terrible?
Yo, the Nuggets are trash. No, Jokic is an MVP right now, but everyone else is a disaster. That team can't defend for shit. I knew this was going to happen. I told you motherfuckers this was going to happen, that as soon as they lost Jeremy Grant and they lost Torrey Craig, they weren't going to be able to defend any wings. They can't defend any wings. They can't defend damn near anybody, and they're struggling. Maybe they get better. Michael Porter is a fucking clown. He doesn't know what he's doing. He just shows up and drops 30 and lets someone score 40 on him. The Nuggets are going to be a lower seed than they were last year for sure.
Yeah, it's rough. I'm not going to lie. Sam?
Look, guys, I live in Denver, so you got to love the Nuggets when you're there. Otherwise, you don't look pretty, all right? So you have to love them when they're trash, okay? So look, we missed Jamal Murray. We missed Jamal Murray a lot. We're seeing a lot of the inconsistency from him. I have no idea what triggers this inconsistency, but Michael Porter, very too much hype behind him, too much talk from him, less action, less dubs. Jeremy Grant was a big loss. But only thing I'll say is they have Marcus Howard, who is a fellow Marquette boy. He's played half a minute, basically. But I won't lose hope on this team, but they'll be a very low seed. I'd say 6th seed. So
6th seed, yeah. Unfortunately, I am on that wagon as well, which really kills me to say. Going to the next one, the CP3. Oh wait, no, Kevin, you haven't said shit about this Nuggets, have you?
Thanks for that.
Anytime, man. Anytime at all. Why would you go next?
No, I think I'm more in Sam's boat. I don't think they're completely out yet, but I think they gotta get their defense together pretty quick. But when you have Jokic and Murray on your team, once you kind of get going, they'll carry your team to a higher seed. So as long as you get some sort of semblance on their bench, they can get it together. Get Michael Porter Jr. out of there. He's hyped. He's hyped and overvalued right now, and he's not as good as he's worth. Get him out of there. Get someone good. You made a horrible mistake getting rid of Jeremy Grant. That's all I gotta say.
Big oof. Big oof. And Kevin, because I did you dirty, I'm going to have you start the next one. CP3 Suns have been awesome to start. Kevin, are you ready to apologize to Mr. Chris Paul?
No, I'm absolutely
It's a bold move. It's a bold move.
Not yet. Tell me when they're 20 games into the season and not just initially off the season when we're talking about everyone else is just kind of sucking and sluggish. I stand by what I said. I really do. I did not say Ricky Rubio was a better player than Chris Paul. Did not say that. Taken out of context.
I don't remember even mentioning Ricky Rubio. I don't know where that came from, Kevin.
Y'all giving me shit. But I do gotta say, Devin Booker has been actually kind of inconsistent. I feel like his shooting has not been as good as what we saw in that bubble. And I think he really needs to step up for them to be key to keep their hot streak alive.
All I have to say about that is that they have the best record. That they have the best record in the Western Conference.
Wow,
Just
after 6 games, that's so hard.
Yeah, whatever you want to say, man. John, are the Suns real? Are the CP3 Suns real?
Yeah. It turns out adding a second team All NBA point guard to your team, it just kind of helps things run a little smoother. He's fucking Chris Paul, man. He brings winning wherever he goes. When was the last time Chris Paul missed? He even brought this Thunder team to a 6 seed. He could do it with the Suns. Like they're a much better team than that Thunder team was. Way better parts. I think this team is legitimately a serious playoff threat now. Not like a title threat, but like a serious playoff threat. And Kevin, you owe Chris Paul an apology. We can give you some special letterhead to send him something written if you'd like. We can help you pay for special handwriting classes. Whatever it takes, buddy. You got to make amends.
I think Kevin should use the same insurance that Chris Paul is a part of.
Yeah.
Every single one of his commercials. That's how you should apologize.
Yeah.
Sam, how you feel?
I'm a little torn because it's like realism versus hype. And I'm going to go with hype because I got my boy Kevin here, all right? The Phoenix Suns will be an 8 seed. I don't know what we're talking about here at this point. Please tell me what makes this team better. They're, once again, an offensive juggernaut team that doesn't have any sense of defense. DeAndre Ayton cannot be a strong presence in the paint. You cannot tell me that he is a strong presence in the paint, okay? As long as we like Chris Paul, the Chris Paul debate's different. Chris Paul and the Suns are two different arguments. Chris Paul, I can like, okay? I think he's a perfect fit for this team. They will be better. They'll make the playoffs. That's the only thing that makes it different. They'll just make the playoffs this time. There really isn't anything good about this team. There's bright future, but it's not good. There's nothing good. They never had that many years together. Come on, don't give me that face. Don't give me that face.
No, I'm going to give you that face.
Stop it.
If you were to pick, like if you were to draft between the Nuggets and the Suns, how many players, like I think that you would pick significantly more Suns players than you would guys who are currently on the Nuggets, because the Suns it would probably go like Jokic, and then you would pick Devin Booker, and then I would pick Chris Paul, and then Jamal Murray, and then it's like DeAndre Ayton, their small forward, Jay Crowder. Like they have just actual guys that are like useful rotation players who can play defense and have like consistent shooting. I think that we're underrating the Suns team a bit still. I'm all the way hyped on them now.
It takes one Chris Paul hamstring tear to end this Phoenix Suns season, okay? That's all I'm saying. I cursed it. I put the curse on. Okay? The Phoenix Suns will not make the playoffs now.
That's rude. That's rude. How dare you, sir?
Correct.
How absolutely dare you? The Suns are real. Sam's drinking the Kool-Aid on some nonsense. Let's just say that. All right. I'm going to start this one off. Jaylen Brown has been offensively as important or more than Tatum this season. So far, I think it's real. I honestly think it's real. I don't know if he's better than Jason Tatum all around, but I do think that Jaylen Brown is. It would be a little bit of nonsense to say that he hasn't significantly made the Celtics a more offensive threat. I would have to definitely say that he is real when it comes to the Celtics. Kevin, how you feeling?
I'm torn on that, and I think it's different arguments. I think I almost got to go with no, just because I think Jason Tatum has more of a diverse offense. Like he can get those assists out to anyone on the floor at any time, and he always knows where other people are. I don't really see that as much with Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown's great offensive scoring, but just true scoring. Like, he's good at shooting. He's almost like a weird Klay Thompson for their team, and Jason Tatum's the Steph Curry kind of, as a poor analogy. And I think you could look at a lot of games and see Jaylen Brown have more points or more made more threes or things like that. But I think overall, Jason Tatum has more of an impact on offense.
That's fair. John?
I think that this, along with Kemba's injury, is a Celtics-Boston psyop to raise Jaylen Brown's value, to send him to Houston for James Harden, so that the Celtics can be a serious franchise again. I don't think that this is going to carry over the whole season. I think he's averaging like 28 points per game or some shit right now. He's probably going to come back down to like 23, which is great. I just don't think that this is the Jaylen Brown we're going to get all year, especially when Kemba comes back.
That's fair. And Sam?
If you ignore the Kemba aspect, Jaylen Brown's the reason you get W's so far. Like, you would not win otherwise. Jason Tatum, as much as I love him overall, I praise Jason Tatum many times on this podcast. I like to say this. But the man is putting up Kobe stats, okay? When you're shooting below even 35% from field goal, it gets kind of ridiculous. Jason Tatum's going 57% field goal right now. 65 2-point%. All right, that's nuts. Okay, this is the guy's going for the game-winning shots. Sure, he misses them. And look, Jason Tatum, you got lucky on the bank shot game one. I just gotta say that. All right, he got lucky.
A little bit. I will say that his final shot against the Pistons was actually very, very clean and very, very nice. And he called game. So there's a nice throwback to that bank shot.
Hey man, you better call game as the Pistons.
I know it's rough.
Third quarter.
I don't like it. Very finally, we're gonna end this show, boys. Mr. John Wall. I gotta say, he's real, man. I gotta say it. He's real. He's killing it. I love what he's doing on the field so far. John, how you feeling?
I feel good. I think that he is. I bet that the Rockets feel great about not having to deal with Russell Westbrook, having a guy who can actually perform a variety of different roles for them offensively and is competent defensively. This is a lot of fun to watch. This is significantly more than anyone could have hoped for out of John Wall coming back from those injuries. I choose to believe it's real. Maybe he like falls down a couple of notches as the season goes, but I think he's like legitimately, he looks incredible. He looks super fast. He looks super engaged. His IQ is still great. I think it's real. I actually like it a lot. I'm in. I love it. The Rockets are better than I thought they would be in there.
Yeah, absolutely. Kevin?
I'm all on this hype too. I think more so than anything, I think like John said, I think his stat line might go down a little bit, may take a dip during the season, but I think the biggest thing we're seeing, that speed from him. He is running across the floor like he's 18. Like, he's just going so fast, like nothing ever happened. I am very impressed with what I've seen. I think this hype is real. I hope it continues the whole season because I love this Rockets team right now as is. And if they trade Harden and get someone good, someone young, I'm even more excited, kind of. But we'll see. We'll see what actually comes out of that. But yeah, I'm hyped.
I like it. And Sam?
Pretty skeptical about it. I like that he's back, but I just don't have much trust in his body. This team is also kind of a bit questionable. I wouldn't say it's good or bad. I think it just needs time. You just need a lot of oil in this machine at this point. And it doesn't help when there's beard hair everywhere in this mess. I think along the point, if James Harden can get traded and get someone youthful, maybe like that Jaylen Brown talk, I think that could be a solid fit for both teams, surprisingly. But right now, I'm not feeling the wall. I'm hitting the wall. All right, that's what's happening here.
And to end the show, all I gotta say is, yeah. I am doing the John Wall, baby. I am doing the goddamn John Wall.
Give us a copyright strike, baby.
I know.
By Troop 41. Just saying. Not one of our songs. Let's just throw that out there before we get sued.
If we get a copyright strike, that means we made it. That means we made it. So.
Yeah, that would be very impressive. I'll give you that one. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening to the podcast and watching us on YouTube. You can follow us on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, and like I said, YouTube. Please subscribe, share, give us a like on the videos. We very much so appreciate your listening and your comments on all of our videos. Thank you for saying that we have great content. It makes us feel great. It really does. It's a nice mood booster. So thank you guys so much. And follow us on Instagram for the wonderful memes courtesy of Meme Lord Kevin O'Brien. Have a great rest of your night and enjoy the basketball today. Peace.
The sun will set in the west.